Number 5. La Llorona. This folklore originates from Mexico, but has also been heard in Colombia. It translates to the Weeping Woman. This is how the story goes. It's the 16th century. A beautiful woman named Maria lives in a poor section of Juarez in Mexico with her children. She begins to have a relationship with a wealthy man and wants to marry him. The man finds out that she has children and puts an end to the relationship. This sends Maria into an insane rage and she goes home and gets her children. She leads her children to a river and drowns them. Once she realizes her children are dead, she leaves their floating corpses in the river and goes to the man's house to tell him she no longer has children. He opens the door and sees her bloody white gown. He demands her to leave the house and tells her to never return. She once again goes into a rage, and not taking no for an answer, she goes back to the river and drowns herself. When she dies, she is challenged at the gates of heaven, and she is asked about the whereabouts of her children. She is not permitted to enter the afterlife until she has found her children. So now Maria is forced to wander the earth for eternity in search for her children. People claim they can hear her crying out, "Hey, mis hijos," which translates to, "Oh, my children." People that say they have seen her have claimed that she is seen on the night of a full moon, wandering the streets wearing a white dress with a light veil covering her face. Others say she appears at night or during the late evenings, appearing out of rivers or lakes in Mexico. It is believed she will kidnap wandering children who resemble her missing children. It is also believed that people that hear her cries are marked for death. It is said that she lets out a deafening cry before disappearing into a river just before sunrise. It's believed that this folklore is told just to keep children from wandering the streets at night, and also to keep children well behaved. Number 4. The Slit-Mouthed Woman. This is a Japanese folklore, but has also been heard in China. This is how the story goes. A woman named Kuchisaki Onna was the wife of a samurai. She started to think that her husband was getting too old and unattractive, so she went out and met a man. She brought the man back to their house and began to cheat on her husband. Her husband came home and caught her in the act. He was furious and slit her mouth ear to ear, then murdered her. She is believed to come back as an evil spirit and wanders the streets of Japan asking people if she is pretty. She wears a surgical mask and asks people if she is pretty. If they reply with no, she immediately kills them with scissors. But if the person replies with yes, then she removes the surgical mask and asks, "How about now?" If the person answers no, she slices them in half. But if they answer yes, she slices the person's mouth to resemble hers. She's also been believed to mainly prey on children and ask them the same set of questions with the same consequences. It's believed that she is impossible to run away from, and if you try to, she will just appear right in front of you. People believe that there are ways to escape her, such as giving her gifts, or when she asks if I'm pretty, reply with, "You are average." And also when she asks, "Am I pretty?" reply with the same question she asked you. Alleged sightings began to spread in 1979 in Nagasaki. It caused panic in towns throughout Japan. There are reports of schools allowing children to only go home in groups escorted by teachers, as they feared for the safety of the children, as they believed the slit-mouthed woman was going to kill them. There have been many recent sightings of her. This includes a report from South Korea. It said that in 2004, a woman wearing a red mask was seen chasing children several times a day. Also in October 2007, a coroner found some old records from the late 1970s about a woman who was chasing little children. She was then hit by a car while mid-chase, and the woman's mouth was revealed to be sliced from ear to ear. Number 3. Tiyanak. This folklore originates in the Philippines. The Tiyanak is believed to be a vampire-like creature who lurks in the jungles of the Philippines. It is believed that when walking through the jungle, a person will hear the cries of a newborn baby. Follow the cries, and a person will come across a baby wrapped in linen. Once the baby is picked up, it reveals its true form and attacks the victim. It is believed to be the shape of a baby, but forms sharp claws and fangs. It's believed that the Tiyanak enjoys leading travelers astray and abducting children. It is said that the Tiyanak is a spirit of a child whose mother died before giving birth. Locals believe that there are ways to counter the Tiyanak's attack. They believe if you come in contact with it, then you have to quickly turn your clothes inside out, as it finds this amusing and lets you free. They also believe it flees from loud sounds such as fireworks and is also scared off by garlic and the rosary. Number 2. Eliza Day. This folklore originated in Ireland. This is how the story goes. In Ireland there was a young woman named Eliza Day. People called her the Wild Rose because they said she was as beautiful as the wild roses that grew near the river. One day, a man came into the town in which Eliza's home was. He then saw her and it was love at first sight. He found out where she lived and knocked on her door. He then introduced himself. They started to talk for a while. He then took her in his arms and kissed her. Eliza felt a connection between them. On the second day, the man went to visit her again. He brought her one single red rose and told her she was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. He then asked her if she could meet him down near the river where the wild roses grew. On the third day, she met him near the river. She stood on the riverbank and admired the beauty of the place. The man kissed her on the lips. He then stood behind her and hit her over the head with a rock. He then started to furiously bash in her skull. As she laid there dying, he crouched down and whispered in her ear, "All beauty must die." He then placed a rose in her mouth and dragged her body into the river and watched it disappear beneath the surface of the water. People in Ireland claim that they have seen the ghost of Eliza Day. They say she wanders near rivers and has a visible head wound and has blood running down her face while she clutches a single rose. Number 1. Bloody Mary. This folklore is known worldwide, but is believed to have originated from England. There are several stories about who Bloody Mary is. Some believe that she was a witch who kidnapped children and was burnt at a stake, but others believe that it is Mary Tudor. Mary Tudor was the daughter of King Henry VIII. She later became the Queen of England and was nicknamed Bloody Mary because she would burn people at the stake because they refused to follow the same religion as her. It is believed that a person can conjure the spirit of Bloody Mary by saying her name 3 times while looking into a mirror in a dimly lit room. People believe that if you shout, "I stole your baby, Bloody Mary," she will appear. This is because Queen Mary I was prone to having phantom pregnancies and couldn't have kids. The ritual was first believed to be performed in the 1960s as a party game, and cases of people doing it have been reported from the 1970s. In order to do this ritual, you must turn off all the lights, then light a candle and look into a mirror and say Bloody Mary 3 times. She is then supposed to appear. The spirit is believed to appear as a corpse, a witch, or a ghost. She can be friendly or evil, and is sometimes covered in blood. Once Bloody Mary appears, she is believed to start screaming at a person. She is also believed to strangle people and scratch their eyes out. There are several spooky stories of people who have tried it. People have reported seeing her and have also said their candles have gone out and their doors have locked on their own. People also say Mary Worth 3 times, as Mary Worth was believed to be a witch linked with the Salem witch trials. The hallucinations that occur while doing a ritual have been explained as a Caputo effect. This is when someone stares into a mirror in a dimly lit room. It may eventually cause someone to hallucinate. Facial features may appear to melt or disappear. This is due to sensory deprivation. There are several videos on the internet of people trying the Bloody Mary ritual. Let me know if you've ever tried it, and if so, did anything happen during it? Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, and remember to subscribe to keep updated with our videos. Goodbye.